Hello, welcome back to the Climbing Nomads YouTube channel. In this episode we're going to be looking at the sort of things that you might take bouldering when you go outside to go bouldering. So to start off with, a lot of the stuff that you would take outside is quite similar to the things you'd take indoor bouldering, and if you're watching this you probably will be transitioning from indoor to outdoor. There are a few things that are slightly different, things that you might need to actually purchase before going outside. First and foremost, different to indoor bouldering is, well, it's kind of similar, but you do need your own mat. So when you go outdoor bouldering you don't actually have pads provided for you like you might do at an indoor centre. So get yourself a decent pad. There's a whole load of reasons why you might buy the different types of pads, and that's a whole different video, so look out for that one on our channel. But definitely get yourself a decent one. Other things like shoes and chalk, exactly the same. The only difference is that you might have two different chalk bags instead when you go outside bouldering, because a bit like indoor you expect to fall off quite a bit. So if you've got a chalk bag that usually ties around your waist, when you come off you end up spilling your chalk everywhere quite a bit. So when we go outside bouldering we tend to actually have a boulder bucket instead, and this you can chalk up and then leave to one side once you've chalked up. And we fill it with loose chalk so it gets a better coating over the fingers. I do also actually carry a chalk bag in my boulder bag as well, just because quite often sometimes I might do a slightly longer problem or a traversey problem, which means that I could find a rest on it and actually chalk up halfway along. So I tend to carry both. Other things that you might take with you when you're going outside for the first time would be an array of brushes. So at indoor centres they kindly provide brushes for you, but obviously you're not going to get those outside. So we do tend to carry a wide range depending on sizes. You don't have to go and spend loads of money and buy loads of different types of brushes, but one that'll fit all. Do make sure that the brush that you get is a soft bristled brush, so don't run out to the first hardware store and buy, a really hard wire brush, because that damages the rock. So something with a good bore hair will actually last quite a long time. And these are used for just brushing off the holes, brushing off dirt that you might find, or sort of bits of pine needles and things, or leaves, and also excess chalk as well. So yeah, different size brushes, different size holes. For the more extreme of you, you may wish to get an extendable brush. So obviously when you're bouldering you want to brush things at a great height. Other main difference between going outside to inside, obviously it's dirtier outside than it is indoors. Indoors is a nice clean environment, but outside you can get quite a lot of grit on your shoes. So a good idea is to actually have a small flannel or a small towel with you, just to wipe your shoes, wipe your climbing shoes that are on your feet just before you get on the rock. Now this is especially important in places like Derbyshire where it's gritstone, or Fontainebleau where again it's a sort of sandstone, and the little bits of dirt and sand or grit actually can wear away on the rock very, very quickly. So do clean off your shoes before you get on the rock. Outside it's a little trickier to warm up sometimes. Indoors you tend to have hang boards or pull-up bars and things where you might not have them. Well, you definitely won't have those outside. So as you walk into your boulder field, your boulder environment, you probably warm up already just by walking in there carrying all your stuff. But I also carry a couple of things that will just help warm up the fingers and warm up the arms a little bit more. One is the Gripmaster, some form of flexing for the fingers and actually working those and getting the blood flowing around. If you don't have a Gripmaster, you can get like one of the balls, I think, as well, like one of those climbing balls, or the climbing putty as well works quite well at just warming up the fingers. And the other thing I carry is the Theraband, and again good for just general exercises, warming up shoulders. Probably got this in your climbing bag already, especially when you go indoors, but a little bit of finger tape as well, just in case you end up cutting your fingers, or I don't know, needing to strap them up because you've got a niggle of some sort. But very, very helpful to have your finger tape. The lovely people at the climbing centre will probably have first aid kits and first aiders available for you. Do carry a first aid kit with you. Make sure you know how to use it, make sure you know what's inside it as well. But get something that's going to cover basic outdoor injuries, so something like a sprained ankle for instance. something that's going to be able to stem any heavy bleeding. If you come off badly and actually smack your head on something, then you need to be able to stem that sort of bleeding before other help arrives. On top of the first aid kit, obviously I don't think many people nowadays go outside without one or go anywhere without one, but do take your phone with you as well and make sure it's got enough charge to actually cope with your day out, and if there is a problem, get some help as well so you can contact them. Obviously you need to know your way around, so get yourself a decent guidebook, obviously appropriate to the place that you're going climbing. So we've been using guidebooks a lot in the past, and we've started to move now a little bit more into apps. So depending on where you're bouldering, you might find that there's an app that will actually cover the area. So the Rock Facts app is quite good. Vertical Life app is starting to cover some parts of the UK, but predominantly European. And 27 Crags is also doing a lot more UK based stuff as well. Alongside guidebooks, because obviously when these are printed, they give you information about access and any issues that might be relevant at the time of print. But things evolve, things change. So sometimes access can become a little tricky, sometimes issues crop up. So do your best to go around and hunt on the internet and find out if there are any access restrictions or any issues in the area. If you're in the UK, there's a very good source. The BMC have got their own app, the RAD app, which actually tells you if there are any restrictions to specific crags as well. So do go and have a look at that and check there aren't any problems before you head out there. The last few final things, obviously you're going to carry some food with you for the day, some water, and then clothes that are appropriate to the weather. So if it's hot, obviously cooler clothes, and if it's cold, then lots of jackets. A couple of things maybe to think about is obviously how to carry all this stuff. So there's a lot more than you might take to an indoor climbing centre. And I sort of played around with bags in the past, and one of the options I've gone with is sort of slight messenger bag style. So this is the DMM classic rope bag. I took the tarp out of it because I didn't need that bit, but it actually works really well as a boulder bag, mainly because I quite like being able to open it up and just see all my stuff inside there. It also means that with the shoulder strap I can strap that around the boulder pad, so that I've only got one thing on my shoulders to carry. So I put the boulder pad on my shoulders with the rucksack strapped around the outside. Makes it slightly easier to carry. If that's getting a bit wearing on the shoulders, you can actually turn this into a normal little rucksack. So the straps come off, attached to the back, and it carries just like a normal little rucksack, and you can carry that on the front. So that's kind of one option, these sort of messenger shoulder bag styles. The other option is just get a standard rucksack, put all your stuff in it, and then sort of seat it on the front of your body with the boulder pad on the back. But yeah, everybody kind of figures out how to carry their stuff in their own unique way. And the final thing to think about, it's probably not relevant quite right at this present time when it's summer, but certainly towards autumn, late autumn and winter, when it gets a little bit muddier and things are a little bit wetter in the UK, it's worth considering maybe getting a tarpaulin and then keeping that inside your mat, so that when you arrive at the boulder and it's all nice and wet underneath, then you can actually lay the tarp out and then put your mats on top of that, so that you actually save your mat from getting too wet and too disgusting. So do remember that outdoor climbing is a lot riskier than indoor climbing, so please be careful, please climb safely, enjoy yourself. We do other videos and tutorials, so do check them out on our channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!